All right, guys, welcome back to Gemstone Podcast. My name is Lance. I go by LP. I got Shy and Zack with me today. We are excited for today's segment. Before we get started, please make sure you go follow and share and like our podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Pandora Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts. Also, if you got fan mail, make sure that you send us email to our fan mail. We haven't got to our fan mail in a while, but make sure you email us. It is gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. That is gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my topic for today. I want to talk about something that has been on my mind and in my spirit since I heard about it. So, guys, out in Kerr County, which is in Texas, they had a flood. The flood took place on, well, they're saying July 4th. It was a really bad flood. Now, they're saying that the road was rising about 14 to nearly 30 feet, and that happened within an hour. Now, unfortunately, there's a camp out there called Camp Mystic. It's located by the floodwaters because it's by the riverbank. And so many individuals, children, camp counselors, volunteers have lost their lives due to this. Right now, the count is up to 80 that has lost their lives during this time, which is very traumatic. So first off, we want to give our prayers and our thoughts to the families that have been impacted by this event at Camp Mystic. And we are truly praying for you here at Gemstone Podcast. This is I'm just sad that this took place. I kind of got choked up a little bit there because it's very sad that this took place. And I kind of want to talk about, the aftermath of this taking place, because you have to think as a parent, you send your kids off to a Christian girls camp and they are there to find God, to worship with God, to find themselves, to be in spirit, just to then get a phone call to find out that your child is missing or they haven't been located because a flood took place. That's very sad. But the transition, I want to talk about the aftermath of this, because I just believe that our government, well, Zack just quoted me. He said, now it's confirmed that it is 96 confirmed fatalities from force to 7 flooding, 60 adults, 36 children, with 161 people still missing. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But Abbott, our famous governor, the famous governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, he rolled on down to Kerr County and he had a press conference and he talked on this topic. And a question was asked to him, who's to blame for this? That was the question. Who's to blame for this? His response was, know this, that's the word choice of losers. The way winners talk is not to point fingers. They talk about solutions. He also suggested that faulting or finding fault divides us, while we should all focus and remain focused on fixing the situation and preventing future tragedies such as this. He also announced that the Texas House and Senate will conduct an investigation of the flood and the responses, and has scheduled a special investigation session beginning on Thursday to improve future resilience, warning systems, and emergency protocols surrounding circumstances or instances such as this. Now, I want to move to one more thing before I get into this conversation with y'all. President Donald J. Trump administration cut FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, who supports our citizens and first responders, ensuring that our nation that we all work so hard for can respond to catastrophes or hazardous circumstances or situations in the community. He cut FEMA's budget by 20%, which made them have at least 10% or more layoffs, which now provides it difficult for them to respond to national emergencies surrounding national weather services or any national emergency within our federal. Now, also President Donald J. Trump, his administration, they cut funding for summer camps. So summer camps were hit with major funding cuts where now a lot of camps can't even provide lunch or breakfast for these kids at camp. Even though if mom and dad pays for tuition, even back then when they paid for tuition, there was specialized funding that provided food for these camps. That's no longer there. Also, I want to get into if a flood took place. This is the question I want to ask y'all. If they knew a storm was coming and it was called Tropical Storm Barry. That's the name of the storm that took place on July 4th, 2025. Tropical Storm Barry. If Tropical Storm Barry was coming, and it was reported that it was going to be heavy rains, it was going to be disasters, why wasn't anyone alerted? Why wasn't our government or our individuals who are in political office, who even in that county, the mayor or whoever, why weren't they trying to advocate for some type of help? That's my question to y'all. Why was no one asking for help and no one trying to alert anyone during this time? 96 fatalities and 161 still missing? That's crazy work. And this man that rolled down there talking about something, we ain't gonna point fingers? That's loser talk. What the hell? He rolled his down there and really got on TV and said this.
I think you forgot a major part about that interview, Kinfolk. How he brought football into the talk of 161 people missing and 96 people dead. Texas is a football state. We're not losers. We don't talk like that. What?
I don't want to even mention it. I didn't even want to mention it, fam.
You got to mention that, because that was out of line when he said that already. What does football and loser talk got to do with people losing their lives? Yeah, we losers because you just messed up and lost these people's lives because it took you 90 minutes to send a report out to evacuate. So we got little kids floating 15 miles from the camp in a tree. That's wild. And you know what? When you talk, let me get you some stats for you real quick, because you were talking about the FEMA cut, right? So the proposed FEMA budget includes $646 million cut from FEMA. So anybody that lives in those states, matter of fact, that's everybody in America. When you have a natural disaster or something tragic happen, I can speak for us in Houston. I know you can think about this too, Sha. When Barrow came and FEMA was able to throw you a little money to help you get back on your feet, it wasn't no whole bunch of money, but it was enough money to get your refrigerator, food back in your refrigerator, get your car fixed from something happening to it or anything like that. It was enough to help you get out of the situation somewhat that you were in. That's gone. So when living in Houston and all we have is hurricanes, that's kind of terrifying, because if you're not set up and have this little nest egg, you kind of screwed. You know what I mean? Like, just think about that. You just lost all the food in your refrigerator. You just lost everything in your house. And you usually get that little support from the government that's going to be gone. Now, you shouldn't have to support on the government. I get that. But when natural disasters happen like this, it's hard to rebuild when you lost everything. And that's over 23% that got slashed. Like you said, that's crazy. And another reason, another stat right here for you right here is this, dog. The reason why we not going to get alerts like we used to back in the day is because all the weather balloons that they cut. So we usually put out around, they have right here, due to NOAA, and NSS staff reductions, approximately 14 of the 83 balloon launch sites, nearly 17% are now either partially or completely suspended. That equates to about 30 daily launch missions missed, impacting data collected from key areas in the Rockies, the Plains, New England, Alaska, Houston, Texas, all that stuff, Florida. Your weatherman, you know, I used to make fun of the weatherman and be like, man, the weatherman always wrong with the weather. He says only a 10% rain. Now it's over here flooding. Guess what? You're going to be getting a lot more of that, because the weatherman ain't going to be able to tell you what the weather is, because the NOAA is where we get all our information from. And now all their balloons is being cut because they got all these staff cuts. So we really about to be SOL when these rainstorms come. We really about to be SOL when these hurricanes come, when these tornadoes come. And it's going to be terrifying. It's going to be very terrifying here in the next couple of years.
That's so out of pocket. So you telling me that they cut the budget for the alert service that alerts you that a storm or a flood or a tornado is coming in your area? That makes no sense.
And that's why we haven't get no text messages about it, but nobody really noticed it because nobody noticed it. But that's why we haven't been getting no text. If you ain't noticed, you ain't getting no more text about nothing, like no weather text or anything. Sooner or later, they gonna cut the weather app too. They gonna cut that one next.
That's just crazy work. It just shows. That just.
Check this out though. All that means is that this is a conspiracy theory right here though. So take this with a grain of salt, y'all. All that means is that the weather is about to get privatized. You got to pay to know what's going on with the weather. Watch. Promise you, watch that gonna happen.
But this takes me to a different space though. Not even the privatization of knowing what's going to happen to the weather. it takes me to the concept of safety and population control. If you know, in certain, like Texas has a lot of, it's right there by the Gulf of Mexico. So it's really hot there, and that's a perfect niche to have tropical storms, to have tornadoes, to have severe thunderstorms. That's a perfect niche. Anywhere in the South on those borders down there, because of the heat index, it's perfect for the cold and warm air to meet to then create a catastrophic storm. So to me, it's like you're trying to have population control, because you know more down in the South that it's a lot of minorities down there. It's a lot of, I'm just gonna say it, a lot of illegal immigrants, or a lot in the South. If someone look up the fact real quick and tell me, I believe the South houses a lot of immigrants, specifically Hispanics. So you're trying to have some type of population control, some type of aspect. You already have ICE going around kidnapping people and taking people already. So now you're just taking away another preventative aspect, a preventive aspect of just, well, we're going to do away with the warnings. If people get hurt, they get hurt. If they survive, they survive. If they don't, they don't. The strong will survive. You remember in the previous podcast, we said this, we were recording. We were talking about, is it going to get bad? This was when Trump and his administration first got in office. And we all said, I think, Zack, you asked because you said, are we going to be able to survive this? I said, only the strong going to survive. Because it's going to be, he's about to make a lot of cuts. He's about to try to restructure the government. He's about to consolidate different divisions, different departments, and money is going to come up missing. That's happening. And now we're seeing the catastrophic outcomes of it. And you put people, and they continue to vote for this man in the state of Texas. I have no clue why they still want to vote for him. Greg Abbott, he has done nothing to provide any type of sustainability for the community. He keep on doing the same thing, putting in laws that help the Republicans, put in laws that continue to support racism. He has not done nothing for no progression. He ain't increased no damn food stamp benefits. He ain't increased no housing benefits. He ain't increased no homeless coalition benefits. Nothing. They even cut the funding for substance abuse coalitions in the state of Texas. Make that make sense. So you want more drug addicts on the street? That's what y'all doing? Make it make sense. But this is what we support. This is what we keep on wanting to put in office, because when we get tax breaks, that makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense. 96 casualties, 161, they said, 161 people still missing? That's crazy. And he gets on, and see, I want to leave out the football part, Zach. I really did, because I didn't want to go on a tangent like I am now. Because if I read the football part and I said it out loud, I was going to go on a tangent. But damn it, we already here. Why the hell would you go on TV as the governor? You are the governor. You ain't the mayor. You the governor. You have a direct report to the damn president's office. They come meet with you. You go sue the president's office, and you take them to court when things ain't going right in your state. Why the hell would you go on national TV and say this is a football state? We don't talk like that. That's loser talk. We don't lose. It's 96 people dead. And 121 still ain't been found. And you going to talk about some damn football? Just like they had the damn down there in Florida, the damn chief of police on there talking crazy about them people that down there. If you attack ICE, if you do this, we'll shoot you dead. We got people like that we've elected to put in positions of power. What? This is who we want to make decisions for us as a society. That's crazy, man. It frustrates me, because this is what we want to, then we all want to get together and be mad and sing Kumbaya. Oh, this is fall. I can't believe they passed that law. You voted for the money. What you mean you can't believe that? He was doing the same 3 years ago. We thought he gonna change? Silly.
They thought she was sweet, baby, but it ain't.
And the government also don't care. Hot Wheels don't care. The Orange don't care. They don't care about people in these rural areas that need some kind of safety, need some kind of good infrastructure to where the water does not sit there. You remember in Houston prior to Hurricane Harvey, when we had storms and stuff, the water would just sit there. It'll just sit there. It'll take a long time to go down. Now it's been raining out here every day for nearly 2 weeks. That water that does not sit, it goes down because they fixed it. Now these rural areas, they don't have that. That water is just sitting there for days and days, and it's coming down harder and harder and harder. And without any kind of pre-warning, it's just people's lives are being affected, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's not cool, and I hope the world sees this when elections come back around again and it's time to make some changes.
And and that's pretty sad because when water sits, it produces sickness and disease, insects, things such as that. It becomes, foul and smell, becomes bacteria ridden, algae, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because water itself has to be moving, it has to have a flow, it has its own ecosystem. So it has to be fluid. Therefore, when it's fluid, it don't produce as much sickness and disease and mosquitoes and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because it has a current, it has a flow. But that's sad, man. That's just sad. This whole situation is just sad.
Most definitely it is, and it's even worse because it ain't. We talking about it because we from Texas and it's close to home because it's 2 hours up the road, But if you go even further to New Mexico, they had a whole city almost float away because of that. I got a homeboy that stay out there. They literally had houses floating in the water. Who gonna help? It's cool that you want to bring FEMA to state level, okay, but you got to have some plans set up for this stuff. You just can't cut things and say figure it out. And if your governor can't figure it out, get rid of the governor. There's no logistical plan set up. Now I agree with him when he said that. If your governor can't figure out, hey, let's get this man up out of here. But with Texas being so red, Hot Wheels ain't going nowhere soon. Ain't nobody strong enough to take that man out. Take him out of office, not take him out.
I'll say this because we kind of on the deep end here. To all our listeners, understanding when you do vote, voting is very important, by the way. I don't care if it's for your president, your governor, your mayor, your attorney general. All these individuals have so much influence that it's ridiculous. And now we're seeing what bad leadership, or I want to say selfish leadership. I ain't gonna say bad leadership because it ain't bad. He getting what he getting done, he needs to get done. Selfish leadership. What selfish leadership looks like is what we see. Individuals who want to approve and get things done for the betterment of themselves and their close associates. This is what it looks like. It has the people not involved at all. This is why understanding and researching candidates, reading is so essential, and understanding what you need to do and who you need to put in positions of power. Because things like this in Kerr County shouldn't take place. I mean, we get it. Natural disasters happen. But for individuals to roll on stage and they say, this is a football state, we don't talk like this, that's loser talk, and you have 96 people that have been declared dead and still 161 missing. That means that you probably have more than 96 people dead because 161 still missing. That means the number's going to rise. And you roll on stage and say something like that, it shows that we as the people are still not getting it. Quit worried about your finances and start thinking about your life. Because when you die, you can't take your money with you. Guess what? It go to probate or go to whoever you put as your inheritance, and that's what they're going to spin it up. Start making better decisions when we go to these voting polls. All right, Sean, go jump into your topic.
It's story time.
Hey guys. All right, y'all. So I'm back. I'm next with my topic. So I want to talk about friendships, being equally yoked with your friends, knowing who your friends truly are, not like if they're your real friend, but like knowing them as a person. Also, being equally yoked with people that you vacation with. So quick story time. Some years ago, I had met a lady. So I met Stephanie through another mutual named Cassie. So me and Cassie had got cool, and she kind of brought Stephanie into the equation. So Cassie ends up graduating college earlier than me and Stephanie. Then she ended up moving to a new city. So when she moved, me and Stephanie had kind of got a little cooler and stuff, but not cool to the point where we go to each other's house. There's levels to friendships, right? We wasn't that cool to the point where she had been to my house, I've been to her house and like that, but we were cool enough to like talk on the phone sometime. We would go out sometime. So the first red flag was Stephanie was traveling. Mind you, Stephanie was in all perception wise, when I first saw her, we took class together. We both went to the AJ Business School, Texas Southern University. We took class together, and she was a baddie. Like, she dressed professional. She was well spoken. I really thought she was like I know she was older than me, but I thought she was like, a woman that's coming back to get her degree. She's well established. She's, that girl. That was not the truth. But so first red flag was not Cassie, Stephanie. Stephanie ended up getting pulled over, and I think it's Tarrant County up there by Dallas. She got pulled over on there, and she had some marijuana on her, and she went to jail. So when she went to jail, she didn't have a means to get out of jail, and she could not get her car out of jail because the car wasn't in her name. That was the first red flag. So needs to say her then sugar daddy had to come and get her because the car was in his name. Boom, that's the first red flag, y'all. The first red flag, because if you got a sugar daddy and ain't nothing in your name, that's a red flag. Okay, second, time go on and stuff. But like I said, we wasn't that close. So when she told me, "Oh girl, I just got out of jail. I had weed on me. I got pulled over in Tarrant County, blah blah," I was like, "Oh wow!" Like it just shocked me because I didn't think she smoked weed. But anyway, so flash forward, we graduate college. We all, the night before, I had a little turn up session. We all was turning up before we graduated, blah blah blah. And so the day of graduation, I'm with you could quote unquote say people. We could say clique. Like me and all these people took all our classes together. We all got degrees in business, so we all took classes together pretty much all the years, 4 years that we were there. Graduation comes around and Stephanie is nowhere to be found. And so I'm like, where's Stephanie at? I'm like, she's the only one missing. Mike is here, Tim's here, Dan is here, and everybody else. We all here excited, waiting to walk out, and she wasn't there. So graduation, let's say the walkout was at 9:00. She come running through the building at about 8:50. She's covered in sweat. Her hair is all like not even laid to the ground. Like when I say this woman normally walk in the building like a real housewife, like Portia Williams type, bundles, makeup, blah blah, business casual clothes. She was disheveled. She looked at that mess. This is the second red flag. And I'm like, Stephanie, what is going on? Like your makeup not done, you're covered in sweat. She was like, girl, yeah. She's like, last night I just was turned up and but you overslept on your graduation day? And she's like, yeah, girl, blah, blah, blah. And I said, wow. And I was just, so she got in line with us, whatever, like that. All right. So after that, me and her still kept in contact. So me and her, we stayed cool and stuff. She ended up being on probation I'm going to say it. She ended up being on probation and she needed someone to pee in a cup for her, and I would pee in a cup for her. She would come to my house, she would get the pee in the cup, and she'd give me $25 or whatever for the pee in the cup. Because she was still smoking weed. And later on I found out it wasn't just weed. So yeah, I would pee in the cup for her, and she'll take the pee with her to the PO, or the probation people, whatever. And that's how she was able to get out of that charge of the weed charge. Because she was using my pee and she was, doing all that stuff. So anyways, fast forward, my birthday rolls around, and I decided to go on a birthday trip. I want to go to Puerto Rico. So decided to go to Puerto Rico. She said she want to come. So boom. So now it's me, Stephanie, and Megan. We go on a Puerto Rico trip. So I go to drive. I'm picking everybody up before the flight. Go to pick her up. She took forever to come down. She gets in my car. Her hair is not finished. She's not put together. Once again, hair is not finished. She's not put together. And so that's another red flag. Then, she had liquor on it. So she's like, let's go ahead and pop this champagne, blah, blah. We pop the champagne. Now with me, I like to have fun, but I'm also very chill. So I'm not like a turn up. Like, and I don't really drink before my flights, but she wanted to, so we were like, let's drink it. All right. So we get to the airport, stuff like that. She opened her bag, looking through her bag. She got a bag with dirty clothes. Not they all wasn't dirty, but a good amount of them was, let's just say it was like half dirty, half clean. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just wash them at the hotel. I'm like, huh? You can wash them at the hotel? Another red flag. So we get on the flight, we head to Puerto Rico. We get there, she broke. She didn't have that much money on her. Which she didn't want to say she did it, but she was making phone calls. Hey, babe, you said you're going to send me $100. Can you go ahead and send it to me? Like, she calling around. She calling around for some money. So basically, she didn't really have no money. So me and Megan, we ended up the rental car. The rental car was not expensive at all. It was like $100. So we split the rental car. She riding or whatever. And then all of a sudden she's a vegan now. All of a sudden she's vegan. So yeah, we gotta find a vegan restaurant. She wants a salad. She wants a green smoothie. All this right. And it's not just like her because I knew she was not a vegan. She wasn't vegan before, put it that way. So we accommodate her. We're trying to find things. This is only day one, right? So the day we ended up just chilling and stuff. Me and Megan, we wanted to try some Puerto Rican barbecue. So babe, we came here to eat. We came here to eat, go to the beach, do some excursions, have fun. So I had the whole weekend booked. And Puerto Rico, I would love to go back again. It was very cheap and it was very beautiful. So I had day one was just chill. The second day we were doing some excursions. They had like a rainforest that you can go zip lining in and all this other stuff. And I also had something else booked. I can't remember, but I had like things prepped for us to do. So Friday we ended up going to bed or whatever. Saturday we getting up, we getting dressed. All right. She ain't moving. She's still asleep. So we like, girl, come on. It's 9:00. We got to get up and get breakfast and head out so we can start the day. I think the excursion was gonna be the next following day. I think that's how it was. So that day we was gonna tour like Old San Juan. We were just gonna tour the area or whatever and do some. I think we might have had one excursion. I can't remember, but so the heifer's still sleeping. She won't get up. Blah blah blah. So she finally gets up. We're we trying to rush out the door or whatever. She get up. We go out or whatever. We get to Old San Juan and we get to like a gritty. It looked like the fifth ward. It was raggedy. It was the hood. We get in this hood and we with this tour guide and they showing us Old San Juan. They showing us they had a hurricane that happened like about a year or so before that. So they were still kind of like some of the buildings were still like damaged and things. So he's showing all kind of stuff. We get to Old San Juan. We're walking through this neighborhood and this guy, he come out his porch. He said, "I got the coca, the Mary, the neem," or something like that. He had a little song. I got the coca, the Mary, the trees. I got the coca, the Mary, heron. I got the coca, the Mary, the heron. Like he's singing it, or I got the coca, the Mary, the peel. Like he's singing this song. I got the coca, the Mary, the peel. So he was, he's selling his drugs. But he's singing it because we're tourists. And he's like, okay, well, these tourists, they might want some of this coca, some of this Mary, or some of the pill. So we keep on walking. And I'm scared anyways. Like, I'm like, oh, shit, we in the hood. Let's just keep walking. So we keep walking, whatever, keep going. So she said, oh, I want to take a picture on something or something. So she double backs. Like, so we by this time, we had made it up the hill. And, like Puerto Rico looks similar to Spain or Barcelona. So it's a lot of hills. So we're already up the hill. This heifer go back down the hill, back to the projects. She go back down the hill. And I say, what the heifer go back down the hill? Now let's go so we get to eat the food and stuff. We get to talking and stuff and talking about college, all that stuff. And I came late to graduation and girl, mama, said, yeah, girl, the night before graduation, we went to Grooves and I had some coke that night. So I said, you had what that night? He said, I had snorted some coke the night before graduation. That's why I was late. And I said, well, damn. One of you was late, your wig was sideways, and you was covered in sweat. I at the table just bewildered. Because I ain't never met a cokehead before. Or not a cokehead, but I never met somebody that would openly say, yeah, girl, I had some coke. So now I'm like, is that why you went back down that hill for the coca, the Mary, the pill? That's why you went back down there? Mind you, the guy that was singing the coca, the Mary, the pill, he was cute. He was a little Puerto Rican guy. He was very attractive. So he probably ain't no telling because she ain't had that much money on her. Okay, keep that. Remember that. She ain't had money like that. I think one guy had sent her like $100 and she probably came with $100, something like that. So yeah, she just said, I was like, wow. I said, oh girl, I know you do coke. And so, the day keep progressing and I'm missing something, but the day keep progressing. Somehow we got on the topic of we got our IDs or something. I don't know, we were trying to buy liquor or something, but come to find out, I was about 24 at the time, I think. She told us that she was like 29. and she was gonna be 30 on her birthday. Come to find out, she was 35 actually. So me or Cassie, which Cassie went on a trip. Remember, Cassie had moved to a different city after she graduated. Cassie went on a trip, but Cassie never knew that she was 35. I never knew that she was 35. And Megan didn't know her. So this heifer had been lying about her age since the whole time. That means when we first met her 2 years prior to this trip, she lied about her age then. So this lady was 35. All right. So now we're at the end of the night. So we like, okay, cool. Let's chill for a bit and we'll go out, right? We hadn't been nowhere yet. So besides like the tour and stuff, that night come around, she like, okay, let's go talk to these men over here, girl. They got some money, girl. They gonna blah, blah, blah. I'm the type of person, if you want to go turn a trip with the men, go ahead. But we don't recruit all of us. So you want to go, whatever. Because now I'm putting together, you a trick and go ahead. Basically. So she was like, come on, let's go, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, we finna go. We finna chill. We gonna go out tonight. We're gonna go to a little bar or something in Puerto Rico. Needless to say, that turned into a whole entire argument. And this coke lunges back and punches me in the forehead. And she snuck me, right? She lunged back and she snuck me. And she like, bam. She like, with your fat ass. She was like, she like, my body. She didn't say she looked better than me now. She ain't say that. Cause she looked at like Wesley Snipes with a wig on. But she said, I got a better body than you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, where is all this hostility coming from? So she punched me, and so immediately I go into Tasmanian devil. So I'm lunging, I'm going, the Puerto Rican hotel people run up on us and they grabbing, I'm grabbing stuff, lamps, I'm gonna tear this up, right? So needless to say, she got a lick in on me. I never got to her. So she goes back to the room and they separate us. She like, I'm leaving. She go to get her stuff. So as she's getting her stuff, some of our stuff go with her stuff. So when she gone, we checking our stuff. My car keys are gone. One of my credit cards are gone. Same thing with Megan. I almost said her real name. One of Megan's credit cards is gone. Well, I don't know if it was credit cards or money. Basically, half of them stole from us. My car keys was gone because Stephanie had left her house keys in my car. So she was gonna get back to that airport in Houston and get my car and probably take my shit, go home with it. So she took all our stuff. So we like, oh, fuck no, blah, blah, blah. So we calling and stuff, can't find her. She gone. She gone in the wind. So the next day, we get up. We still got 2 full days in Puerto Rico. So we go ahead and do the excursion. We go to El Rico jungle. It was called something. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was high up. It was like 30 minutes outside of San Juan. We go there. They got rainforest, zip line, and we just having a good time. We get done with that. We sitting down for some lunch. I get a notification on my phone that my Southwest flight has been changed. And I say, well, I ain't changed no flight. Did you change the flight? No. So basically, the crack whore, we on the same reservation number, and I never even knew you could do this. And this is why I don't give people my reservation number no more. She went on the app or called them, and she changed our flights. So she moved her flight up. So basically, she's having the airport all night, but she moved her flight, and she moved our flight down. So our original flight was gonna be leaving. I'm jumping ahead. This is the day we leave. Let me back it up some. We go to the rainforest, we have fun that whole day. Boom. Then we go to the beach, we have a good time. The next day is the day we're leaving. So this is day 4, we're leaving. So this particular day, we're eating breakfast, and I get a notification that my flight has been changed. So I call Miss Southwest, and I say, I haven't changed the flight. They say, oh, well, you just called us about 30 minutes ago to change your flight. I said, I didn't call you. I said, did you verify who my date of birth or anything on the call? I said, y'all just change people's flights without no verification. She said, well, yeah, you called and you gave us the booking number and the flight and blah, 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 and we changed it for you. And I said, no, that was not me. I said, someone is trying to impersonate me and stealing my identity, and y'all can be sued for this too. And so so literally my original flight was at, let's say, 2 p.m. She changed it to like 7 p.m. So basically, she would have enough time to get to Houston, to get to the airport, get to my car, get her keys out of the car. Remember, she stole my car keys, and probably drive herself home and just leave my car parked somewhere or some shit, or whatever she had planned, or just get her keys and leave. So I said, no, put my flight back. And so I texted her and I said, yeah, you crack. You thought you was gonna change my flight? I wasn't gonna get the notification. Are you dumb? are you dumb? I was like, you better be lucky I don't had them goons wait on you when you get to your house. Which I did. I text some goons and I said, Beechnut Street, these apartments, be out there waiting on them. And guess what them goons was out that way? They was out there waiting on them. But that's another story. So yeah, needless to say, we got home and I had to literally get a ride from the airport to my house. I had to jump over my patio. I had to break my patio door, not the glass. I had just broke the latch and stuff. Get in my house, get my spare keys, drive back to the airport and get my car. So all I have to say is that you cool with, that you might have worked with or you went to college with, but you don't actually hang with them on a daily basis, don't go on a trip with them people. You do not know what them people into. Pay attention to the red flags, the signs. The girl came to her own graduation covered in sweat with a disheveled wig and no makeup on when she was a makeup girly. Like I told y'all, she was. Have you ever seen 2-1 Food Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar? When Wesley Snipes dressed like a woman, he was a drag queen in that movie. That's how she looked. It was spitting image almost. And she would always be made up. But her to come to her own graduation and she didn't have any makeup on, her hair wasn't none of that. That was huge, a red flag. And so the fact that she went to Puerto Rico with no money and her sugar daddy apparently wasn't sending her no money because he paid her car note, he paid for her to live, so he ain't gonna pay for the trip too, I'm assuming. She wanna take out on us. Excuse me. So just make sure you equally yoke with your friends, that you know who they are and what they're into. If you're not into drugs, don't hang with people that's into heavy drugs. Know who they are before you go travel with them. Build up a good enough rapport. Just because you went to college with them and you see them every couple months and something like that, you don't actually know these people. And I've held on to a grudge for this lady for some years. I finally let the grudge go last year. I've held on to a grudge. I've held on to, if I see you anywhere in Houston, I'm gonna whip you. I'm gonna whip you to the ground. But she a cokehead, so she probably whip me to the ground. But I was gonna try. But I held on to a grudge. I don't know if this lady is still living or what's going on with this lady. I don't even know if she kicked the drug habit. She moved back to Dallas. I don't know what happened to her, but yeah, Stephanie was a piece of work, and I would suggest get to know people before you travel with them. Get to know people that don't want to. She don't want to do no excursion because she ain't no money. She didn't want to do a lot of things she did not want to do, and them kind of people I want to travel with. So yeah, y'all, that's my story time.
Sing the song again.
Yeah.
He was sitting there on the porch. Coca, the Mary, happy.
Oh, why that's so funny to me?
The Coca, the Mary. And mind y'all, he looked like y'all. He looked like a light-skinned black guy.
The Mary, the pill.
The Coca, the Mary, the pill.
Well, that's a hell of a drug, Pete. That is funny.
The Coca, the
that
Mary,
is funny to
the
me,
pill.
man. I just want to hear the song again. That's funny to me, man.
The Coca, the Mary, the pill. And she probably went back and get that Coca, that Mary, that pill, and that's why I got punched. Because she had some of that Coca and some of that Mary and some of that pill.
How you think she got it, Shy? What you?
I don't know, though.
Stop.
I don't know.
How she got it? You don't want to say it right now. How you think she got it, Shy?
We all know how
I mean, but she wasn't gone that long, though. She was only gone like 10 minutes.
It don't take that long.
I mean, she ain't had no money.
She a monster then. She
it don't take that
Unless she
long.
came back that night, y'all remember she left. She went all by herself that night too. I left that part out.
Yeah, we know what she was doing.
No, she was doing. She went back there and gave that man a 5-finger discount with some sloppy toppy.
The Coca, the Mary, the pill. But see, that's why she was trying to get us to go talk to them old men, some old Puerto Rican men. I'm like, I'm not finna get raped, kidnapped, or cut for no damn money.
That was funny to me.
You know, damn people.
She said the Coca, the Mary.
The Coca, the Mary.
You're right, though. Zack, man, how long we been on each other, man? It's been
officially
like 15, 13 years, something like. It's more than that, ain't it?
14 years.
I'm on 15 years. Yeah.
Going on 15 before 14. No, 15 years. 15 years.
It's been 15 years. Yeah. It's been 15 years we known each other, and we met as roommates in college, freshman year, and I don't think it's been a time where we went radio silent on each other, never, reached out to each other. It's never been nothing but love. And any particular time, even if we had major changes in our life, you know what I'm saying? If we had relationship changes, kids, whatever it may be, it's never been a time where we've like skipped a beat, like it's been any hostility or nothing. I'm just speaking from my perspective. It's always been love, man. I think because we went through so much in them first couple years of, becoming close friends that we just developed this connection and this bond that I just think we got for life. And so it just sounded like to me, Sean, that person just you outgrew them. You outgrew them. You grew in life and they stayed where they was because you running to your graduation date's crazy work, and then you come with dirty clothes packed on a trip. That's even crazier. And then you got sugar daddy that don't want to give you no money, so your sugar ain't sugar. So it's a lot. But it sounds like you just outgrew that person. But I heard something not too long ago talking about covenants. I was watching something. I think it was Pastor Michael Green at Rock City Church. He was talking about covenants, and he brought up friendship covenants. He said there's something that God ordains called a friendship covenant, and that's when you have a divine covenant with someone that is divine, and God has chosen you to y'all connection to be what it is on a friendship level. And you have a responsibility as friends to ensure that each other is growing at a pace in which God foresees for the both of you guys, and also to hold each other accountable. And it just sounded like you were trying to hold her accountable, you were trying to help her grow, but she just wasn't growing. And so, yeah, you're right. You had a lot of red flags there, but you still tried to help that person. You a good person. And you're right. She probably got hopped up on that she went to go see the man.
That married.
Yeah, she probably
no, but but remember I told y'all me and her was like a mutual. I would just, like me and her, I hadn't really hung out with her but like a few times.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go on a trip. So I was like, yeah, you can come on a trip.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I think you made your best decision after the fact. So it was it.
And that lady took my dang on car keys, man.
And that's what's crazy. You take somebody's car keys, that's crazy.
If I may, I don't think y'all ever really had a friendship. Like you said, it was just associates because you knew her from somebody else.
Bing, so y'all, bing, 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 bing.
A girl hung out, and you allowed it to happen because you've been around her so much that you was comfortable with her being around and going on a trip with her, but you didn't realize who she really truly was until you got on that trip, which I'm pretty sure like we can say we go on our trips together, we get to see more of each other and see how we really act, how we get when we get too lit, when we not too lit. Because me and my first time hanging with Sha, you got to see who I was. My first time knowing you was on vacation. So it's different, Sometimes you vow to people, sometimes you don't vow to people. And like that old saying they say, right, about the seasons and friends. Sometimes you got some roots, sometimes you got some branches, and sometimes you got some leaves. Her ass was a leaf and she had to float away.
Like I had said, y'all, like, me and her, like, I was giving her urine because she was trying to pass her drug test because she was trying to get off of papers. So that's how me and her really kind of started conversating outside of Cassie, because remember Cassie had moved to a different state. So she was no longer around. And so me and Stephanie, oh girl, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'll help you. I'll pee in the cup for you. And she gave it to him. So, I was like, okay. And this is like 2 times a week. So I was getting a little $50. Boom. I'm like, okay, girl, yeah, girl, I come good. And then from there, she also used to go to my same church. We used to go to, I'm going to say the church name, Wheeler. She used to come to Wheeler sometimes too. I used to go to Wheeler faithfully. And so another person that we knew too, we're going to call her Mia. Mia used to go to Wheeler too. And so me and us three used to sit together. You know what I'm saying? That's how we all kind of like, but Mia ain't come on a trip, needless to say. But yeah, so yeah, it was crazy work. Crazy work. Crack dentures.
Yeah, you're right though. See, they weren't friends in the first place. Like they weren't close friends. They just knew each other. Due to having a mutual friend. It sounds like she kind of got jealous of you too, though, Shy. Just listen to the story. It's so many different things I hear just listening to that. And it sounds like she got jealous. It sounds like she started. It's just a lot. And I could be wrong. I really could, but I don't think I am. But I don't think I am. It really sounds like she started really tripping on you, man. Because some of that stuff she was doing is active. Was like, what?
But if you think about it, she been had felt some kind of way about me. She's never said it, because if you look at our lives, at that time I was upperly mobile. I'm still upperly mobile now, but I was upperly mobile. I had a nice car. I had my own place and stuff. She didn't have any of that. Her car was in the old man name. The apartment that she lived in, I found out what she ended up telling us on this same trip. That apartment that she lived in was for this guy that worked offshore. So she was staying there while he was offshore. And when she come back, she'll stay a little bit. Then she'll go to the old man house. because he would want to have some privacy sometimes. So she was literally living between two men houses. Like none of that stuff was hers. She drove a nice. It was a really nice Camaro, and it wasn't even hers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of her life was fabricated, and I did not know that because on the image, I thought she was a, she's a sophisticated lady. She looked good. She shopped at Zara and Nails, and she went to. She didn't even finish college.
Oh, no,
she walked the stage with a blank paper because she failed 3 of the classes, and she never went. Talking no more, but at the time she had never went back. She just said forget it. Everybody thinks she graduated, nobody, and she really didn't graduate.
Nah, it's a no for me. I just feel like she did. I mean, I ain't gonna say that, but I just feel like it was just a lot. It's just a lot. I mean, that was done, and I'm a person like this, and Zach, me and you've been friends, like I said, over 15 years. And some things you just can't come back from. That whole taking my keys.
Oh, her ass would have got drugged through the mud. She wouldn't have made it through the door.
I'm trying to really get past it, but I'm having a hard time. Because taking somebody's car keys.
Rapid. And then you're gonna change my flight list? I gotta pay to change.
Yeah, bro. We need to throw hands. Like for real, we need to throw hands. You need to. I need to see what's up. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong.
I was plotting real hard too. I was like, man, I know what apartment you stay in. I know where you park it. I'm gonna catch your ass when you come outside. And I really had somebody that Lance. I had her because she was living out here at the time. She was waiting. I said, yeah, she chocolate. She got some brown weave. She kind of slim, and she drive that red car, that convertible sitting right there. When you see her, yeah, that's who it is. Cause I'm still in Puerto Rico. She already on the first. She got the early flight home. I think she's gonna take my car and go ride home. So and like I told you, she was originally from Chicago, but she lived in Dallas for a long time. Her sister was in Dallas, and her other people was in Dallas.
She about to find out how we get down because we're gonna have somebody waiting at their car.
No, we don't play them type of games.
In the parking garage, waiting on you. They ain't in the airport. They waiting in the car, waiting on you.
We don't play them type of games. Nah, for real though.
Well, I got a question because I've been thinking about it the whole time. How did she get out the hotel with y'all stuff?
Okay, so basically, after she hit me and stuff, right? This is all taking place in the lobby. So the hotel staff was like, I said, I want her out of my room. I want a 5-star charges.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't. They was like, we're gonna let her get all her clothes and stuff out of your room so she can leave. So me and Megan, we sit in the lobby. Okay, go ahead and so the hotel manager, he goes with her upstairs to get her bag, and we follow them, but we stay in the hallway, right? So she go in the room by herself. So that's how she grabbed my keys. My keys and stuff was sitting by my suitcase with my purse. So that's how she grabbed them. And I had a rental car too, but remember my personal car keys, I hadn't used them all weekend, so they were just sitting by my luggage.
Yeah, they just sitting.
The rental car keys I had in my purse, but she knew to grab the Hyundai keys because that was my car. And she left her door key. Remember, the boy that she lived with, he's offshore. He's not probably coming back for another week. So she wasn't going to get in her apartment that she lived at. And she told us that, yeah, he works offshore. He's gone 2 weeks. And she stayed in the apartment by herself. When he comes back, they might do a little something in the bed. And then she'll stay a couple more days. Then she go to the old man's house. And the old man, his children were teenagers. So they was, never really there. And he was divorced, so she could be lay up in there for a few days. And the old man never wanted to do nothing in the bed either, because he old.
Yeah, he ain't got time for all that.
Yeah, but the young guy on show, he said, "You've been living in my apartment while I'm gone. Go ahead and get down here and slap on them knob."
Drop down, get your eagle on, girl.
Huh?
Get your eagle on, girl.
I can't deal with y'all, man. Y'all.
Come on, slap on your knob, baby. And she told us that the young boy, she said, "Nah, girl, I don't be wanting to do it with him because he just do too much." Blah blah blah. But she stayed with him though. So yeah, she needed them car keys because if not, the apartment people gonna let her in an apartment. It's not her apartment.
Yeah, it's not her house.
And then think about this: he offshore. It would be hard to get him on the phone. Because he's not there.
He's not there. His service ain't gonna be spotted.
Exactly. So she's thinking, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get in my apartment. I got my clothes in there. I got a bunch of dirty laundry I still ain't washed.
And then the old man, he probably said, well, baby, how you get to Puerto Rico? I just paid the car note. How you get to Puerto
Rico? She got to answer too many questions.
Yeah, so that's why she wanted to get them keys so she get that house so she can be comfortable. And the whole time when she told us that she lived there and she had 2 big ass dogs, Stephanie, I never knew you had no dogs. And she like, yeah, girl, it's pit bulls, they sweet, blah blah. And they would be in like the little sunroom. It's them apartments. I ain't gonna say what their name is, but the apartment got like a little sun patio. And then the inside, they on the southwest off of Beach Nut. But anyway, so I was like, girl, I never knew you had dogs. The whole time it was the offshore man dogs. It wasn't her dogs.
She living in that man house.
She living in the man house while he offshore. While he out of town working offshore, she is at his house. When he come back, she said, so girl, sometimes I'll just go lay on the couch if he don't want to have his bed to himself, or I'll go to the old man house. So yeah, you'll pack you a bag because he want to bring Tisha over here for a week or two while he home, and he goes to old man house. That's some sad ass shit if you think about it. Get off of me, that's such
life to live, my nigga.
Huh?
Nah, that's sad.
It is sad. And you 35. Remember, she lied to us and told us that she was like 2 years older than us, but she was 35. We were in our mid-20s. She was 35. So that means to tell me you still not smoking. You still sniffing coke and living out of a hobo bag at 35. You ain't gonna never change.
Yeah, exactly what that means.
You still doing this shit? But yeah, so I mean, thank God I've never seen her again. I don't know if she ever moved, which I remember when we were cool, she was telling me like, girl, I'm thinking about going back to Dallas. She said she'd never go back to Chicago, but she thought about going back to Dallas and all this stuff. So I don't know if she ever moved back or if she found her a man, a rich man or a wealthy man or somebody's husband to take care of her. I don't know what happened to the girl, but and you know what's some other funny thing? She had went to Coachella. All the red flags was there that she was a cokehead. She went to Coachella like the year before, and they drove to Coachella from Houston. And she told me, honey, girl drove straight there. No hotel, just switch seats. I said, you had to be on some coke.
It ain't that far. You can do it.
Huh?
It ain't that far. You can do it. I used to do it all the time.
You drove. She said she drove straight.
Straight where?
From Houston to California. Didn't take a nap. Didn't just.
She crazy. Yeah, she crazy.
The girl just got behind the wheel and bucked it down. And I said, how you did that? She said, girl, we just was put the music on. We was smoking. We just was having a party. It was a good. I said, how? Now I realized you on that coke. Y'all took a couple snorts and hit the road.
It's only 12 shot. Not taking a nap is crazy though. Like you can do about 12 hours.
That's what I said. So you didn't sleep while she said, girl, no. She said, girl, it was only like 22 hours or something. She said, it wasn't that long. She said, girl, we was partying, girl. We was turned up, girl. I said, yeah, now I realize y'all have on them drugs.
Yeah, that's a long drive not to take a nap.
And that was the same girl that came to her graduation the night before. She said, remember she said she snorted coke the night before graduation? I said, because she was turning up, she was enjoying herself. She snorted some coke. Yeah. You and baby girl was on that coke that whole trip there. That 22 hours probably felt like 10 or 5. Anyways, y'all.
Man, as always, we have a great story from Sha. That's always gonna make you question some shit. That was a questionable one right there. We would have drugged that woman out the hotel right there. I promise you, she would have got drugged. Nah, I'll probably take that back because I ain't trying to go to jail in Puerto Rico. Nah, I ain't doing that. But
exactly, and they all speak Spanish around you.
Have your ass in a fucking tortilla bin out there. Can't do it, no sir. At that note, we're gonna end this segment. We're gonna end this episode. If you made it this far, we love you. We appreciate you, and we thank you for tuning in with us every week. Yes, we drop every week. Please like and subscribe so you can see us when we drop, so you can get that notification every time we drop something, because it's always going to be fire. Please stay in contact with us. How to stay in contact with us is by getting on Apple, Amazon, and Spotify podcasts. You'll always be able to keep up with us on there. Get in contact with us on Instagram so you can keep in contact with us. And we got a TikTok coming on the way, so please be on the lookout for that. Also, send us some fan mail. We got our Gmail. Always send us fan mail on either IG or TikTok when it gets here in our Gmail. The Gmail is gemstonespodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's gemstonespodcast@gmail.com. Send us some fan mail. We're going to always post y'all stuff when y'all want us to have y'all topics on here. And we love y'all, man. We're going to sign out like that. Y'all tell them y'all love them. Let's get up out of here, man.
Love y'all. Y'all come watch our episodes if y'all haven't seen them. Some older episodes. Y'all subscribe to our channel. Send us some fan mail. Follow our social medias. Thanks for watching, listening. Ta-ta.
Appreciate y'all. LP signing out.